Hi, I'm Gianna, and I'm going to be doing my vault collection. So, I have some questions that I'm going to answer. So, right now I'm in Money Island, the game that kind of helps with financial. So, describe what the vault program is and why you think students should learn it in class. Specific benefits. So, some specific benefits for me is that you get to learn about financial stuff, just not when you're like older and like high school. You can learn about it in 5th grade, and it's really cool because like you get to learn a lot more, and then you have more knowledge of it when you get older, and you already know some of the stuff that they're going to teach you. So there's not much more to learn, but you can make your knowledge even stronger. I think it's very beneficial to be able to know this stuff when you're younger. And when I go into my vault tab, so some of the important things that you've learned from vault. So describe specific benefits for vault. So basically, I'm kind of already on like 6, but when you go into one of these games, so the first is to quiz you about what that this whole section is going to be about. This one's about responsible money choices. You do a quiz first on how much you know. There are 5 questions total. And then in all of the other ones, you kind of just listen to them talk about what responsible choices are and stuff like that. And you can like drag and drop choices, and you want to try to do the right choices. And then the last one, which on here is number 8 or number 9. It's another quiz again to see how much you've learned and how much you've improved. And then you can go here to the other one, like other pages, and that's what it's all about. And I think this is very beneficial because you get to, again, you learn a lot more things, and it really teaches you on how to make responsible choices. Vault, that's kind of what Vault focuses more on. It focuses you more on responsible choices and not spending too much money. And then important things that I've learned from each game. Well, each game, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about money, and I've learned a lot more. Like when I just knew about money, like my mom and dad do taxes, and like I didn't know that much about it, except everything's expensive. And now I feel like after I've worked with these programs, I'm gonna do a lot better with my money choices, and I'm gonna like save more. But I also know when the right time is to spend, but not to spend on stuff I don't need. So, yeah. Number 5, how do you plan to become a guru and tilt the scales? Well, basically what you have to do to become a guru, you have to go into Easter Island, and you have to click on one of the Easter statues and basically take a quiz to get a paycheck. And if you get most questions right, you get paychecks. But then after you do one of those, you have to leave Easter Island, and then you have to go all the way over here. You have to go to your hut, and then you have to pay your taxes, pay your bills. So it's basically going back and forth, and that's all you can really do. That's really all you can do. And yeah. And then, how will Money Island and Vault make you a stronger student and person? Well, I think it'll make me a stronger student because I'll have more knowledge, and I'll be able to teach other people more about it. And as a stronger person, that in my later life, as I grow up, I'll be able to make better choices. And how will Money Island? And what was hard for you during these games? Well, something hard was for me to pay my bills at first in Money Island because at first I didn't have very much money, and this little guy was always sad, so I had to keep going back to the arcade to spend more money then, and then it was really hard to pay my bills, but finally I was able to balance it out with getting paychecks and then paying my bills, and then it was easier. And in Vault, I think it was kind of hard to do some of the games because they have little games in between. Maybe, yeah. Some of the games. It's kind of hard to do it because they're like each character in one of the games. There's like characters, and some of them can get even harder, and the questions get a little bit harder. And then, what tips do you have for future students? Well, some tips I have for future students is to really try to get something out of it and not just play a game. You actually want to try to learn something because it's very helpful, and if you really pay attention, I think it can help you a lot. So some tips are also to make sure that in Money Island, you want to make sure that your money stays high, and you really want to make sure that even in the first steps, you really balance out your scales so that you don't have so much down here and so much up here, when it's time to almost become a guru. And that was my Money Island reflection. Bye.